Support for Cinema Classics comes from Film Columbus, enriching our community to make Columbus a destination for film education, exhibition, and production. Learn more at filmcolumbus.com. Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to shows every Thursday at 8:01 p.m. and full shows online at WCBE.org. I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
I'm John DeSando.
This is Cinema Classics.
It is, and in our tradition...
We have a tradition?
We do, and tradition is somewhat crazy.
Yeah.
Now and then we'll mix up some stuff.
Okay.
Now, I think you had the idea, and I like it, that we ought to take a couple of the big contenders for the Oscar and look at them together.
Yeah.
So this way would be Black Panther and A Star is Born. For sure it's in consideration, right? Either one?
Yeah. I mean, just these are the movies, right, that have such a sort of positive audience energy behind them.
Okay.
Big hits, both of them.
Yes.
And just sort of, they're on this collision course for Best Picture, right?
Yes.
And so I think it's really interesting because you'll remember that just a couple of months ago, the Academy said that they were going to add this new category, right, called Best Popular Movie or something like that, right?
I don't know what they were smoking at that time.
Well, I know exactly what they were smoking. They were smoking fear. And they were afraid that a movie like Black Panther would not win Best Picture, and that would agitate society. Sure. It would cause a tear in the space-time continuum. And so they were hedging their bets, really.
Yeah.
And and they want to be able to give A Star is Born Best Picture, and they want to be able to give an award to Black Panther, but they can't have it both ways.
Right.
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 So, let's say, John, no other movies are nominated. Let's just say, for argument's sake, the Best Picture category comes down to A Star is Born and Black Panther, and you are the sole member of the Academy. To which film do you award the Best Picture?
I'm going to award it to A Star is Born.
Okay.
And that's a tough decision because A Star is Born is a more a usual type of blockbuster.
Yeah.
Acceptable and cripes. It's the fourth iteration of the thing, I think. Black Panther is so unusual because it's almost all black except for Martin Freeman, I think. It's the only white guy in the whole thing.
No, Andy Serkis.
Oh, right, Andy, yeah. So it's predominantly black. It's predominantly black culture. It's a... Is
it, though? It's made up. It's an invented culture.
But it does exemplify the spirit and the wishes of the black population to enter that fantasy world. And if you take, somewhere hidden in Africa is this exemplary colony, and it has a lot of idealism about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So A Star is Born. I guess I'm at the same place I always am when we do this.
Yeah.
I'm torn between what I think is going to get and what I think should get.
Right.
I think Black Panther is more unusually gifted a film.
Okay. Let me make this simple.
Help me out.
Black Panther's not that great.
Okay.
And you're right. I think the quality of it, it's unusual. It feels really different, right? It, excuse me. The color palette, and I don't just mean the actors.
Sure.
The production design of it, it's fun. It feels different. It has a different rhythm than a lot of superhero movies. However, I feel like it's a fundamentally flawed movie. They repeat that fight sequence on the waterfall. It doesn't really make sense. T'Challa survives crap that he shouldn't be able to survive. There's a lot of weird physics-defying superhero stuff that doesn't add up. And also, just in terms of memorableness, I can't really pinpoint anything. When I think back on the movie, my memory. I've only seen it once, so maybe I need to look at it again. But when I think back on it, we remember moments that make us want to return, right? And
Yes.
I can't really single anything out the way I can with A Star Is Born. Also a flawed movie. Let's be real. But in A Star Is Born, I have a moment like at least the moment where Bradley Cooper wants to apologize to Sam Elliott, and he says that he's his hero, and then he doesn't say anything else. He just closes the door and walks away, and Sam Elliott is left stunned. I don't care what color those people are. The human drama of that particular moment sticks with me. It resonates, and I wish there were more of those in Black Panther. I think Michael B. Jordan might get at a couple of them, but they don't congeal.
Actually, I think the women in Black Panther are memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Right down
You're right.
to the sister who's the kind of, well, James Bond had that guy who was doing all the
Q, yeah.
Yes, Q. And having certain characters whom I remember, and particularly the one that the Black Panther and another young woman are kind of mixing it up, but not mixing it up. I think there's some memorable interactions there that.
That's
really
interesting you bring that up, because did you know there's a deleted scene in the movie that hints at a relationship between the sister and the other character?
All right, yeah.
That there's a hint at a lesbian attraction.
Okay.
But they cut it. So that's great. You picked up on that, but they definitely quashed.
Yeah, okay.
So the movie could have been even more interesting.
Sure,
maybe.
sure. So it's very difficult culturally to separate the aspirations of Black Panther with the reality, with the inconsistencies that you're talking about, almost as if it were a new template and they had to work with it. Mm-hmm. So that it's a grand film, that it made a great deal of money is terrific, but you may be right. It may not be as good a film as A Star Is Born.
And this is what's worrisome to me about altering the awards to accommodate box office take, right? Yeah. Now, it seems more than ever, I'm just afraid that we're going to start conflating the money a movie makes with its quality. Just because a movie makes $1 billion.
That's true.
Does not mean that it's any good.
No.
That doesn't mean it's any good.
No, that's a great point.
I mean, remember Avatar?
Yeah. But
that movie was not good.
Look at, for instance, one that made a pile of money this year, Crazy Rich Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Really a spectacular, good film, another culturally oriented film. Almost all Asians in that film, and it's spectacular. It's good, but you and I are not talking about it being the best film.
Yeah, it's I missed that one.
Okay,
I missed that. But I bet you actually now you've added an interesting wrench into this conversation, because that will be the third. That's the other movie that will be nominated for Best Picture.
Yes,
and will be expected to have a shot.
I don't think it at all has the depth of The Star Is Born, and perhaps even the depth that Black Panther has. The Star Is Born. Tell me, what is its deficiency? I mean, it seems to have hit so hard. Everybody loves it.
What is its deficiency? That's a good question. Again, I've only seen it once, and I really enjoyed it. I would say that there's some really facile narrative progressions that happen without really writing their way through them. In particular, the scene where Jackson Maine invites Lady Gaga's character onto the stage to perform that one song for the first time.
Yes.
She's never performed it. She's never heard his arrangement of it. She
She
just walks on stage and turns into this phenomenal arena. She brings the arena to its feet.
You are so. Will you suspend your disbelief sometimes?
I do. Listen, I did. I'm just telling you. I love that. I got it.
Yeah.
I know the provenance, as you would say.
Right.
Which, by the way, it's provenance. I looked it up.
Ah.
You have
provenance. No. Yeah. How about an alternate?
Well, let's have this discussion.
Yeah, I know. How about an alternate?
No, but hold on. We'll revisit that. I know that this movie has its roots in classic Hollywood melodrama.
Sure.
So I completely suspended my disbelief for that moment.
Okay.
And for others in the movie. I don't know. I just those are little things that I could have used a little more exposition there. That she just doesn't show up and do that bang on the spot. But
yeah, and I think that there are sometimes too much of the interaction and not enough of the music. and too much of his drinking.
I know
get
you
it.
had a problem
I
with
do
that.
have a problem with that.
I need to see it.
Yeah, I get it.
Because you can't just tell me the guy drinks a lot. I need to see him
Do you?
drink.
Yeah. See, I don't need to. I get a few minutes of it, and I got the idea.
Yeah. I see. I don't, because I think you need that if he's going to show up at the Grammys and urinate himself.
Yeah.
You need to, like, you can't just tell me the guy's a drunk and he pees himself on stage.
Yeah.
You know?
But anyway, but I think that it's just as you say. It's so deeply embedded in our culture. The whole arc, rising and falling. It's actually Greek in its own concept.
Right.
And so this fits way too easily, perhaps, when you juxtapose it with Black Panther. It fits too easily.
What, the rising and falling?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that a... See, I knew there was a reason why we were talking about these two movies. T'Challa rises, he falls,
Yes.
he rises again. Then with Killmonger, he falls through the... they're falling in the sky indefinitely. Lots of rising and falling.
But of course, as we're talking, neither one of these will win.
Maybe, you know what? Actually, you could be right. Maybe they will split each other's vote.
I
And
wonder.
something else
What's
will walk away.
closest to it, do you think?
Gee.
I'm guessing Favorite is close.
Favorite?
Yeah.
Really?
Favorite is
Yeah,
close.
man. I don't think... See, that's interesting, right? I don't think they'll give it to that movie because audiences just don't even know what it is. There has to be some semblance of cultural awareness, I think, of the movie.
All right. So we need to think about that. Perhaps there
First
is
Man,
a show,
I don't know.
show somewhere where we actually tackle the Oscar nominations.
Let's
That will
do
be
it.
a show.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.